We're joined now by Corp Public Education Officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Commander Olusegun Ogungbemide. I hope I got that right. Thank you very much for joining us. Assistant Corps Marshal, thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight. For the 18th time, we're here again talking about another tragic, real tragic situation with tanker explosions. I wonder if you even have a count on the number that's happened in 2024 alone. What do we need to do? What exactly is going on? Why this frequency?
Thank you very much. Let me first extend the condolences of the Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed to the people of Jigawa State and the Federal Republic for the terrible incident that happened. It's so pathetic. Truly, we're almost at the verge of celebrating the fact that no life was lost when the crash occurred. Because it was primarily a minor crash. The driver and the motorboy of the tanker survived, and it's almost 2 hours after that the inferno actually came up. So it is quite unfortunate, and I've had reason to say it, that by virtue of the huge network that we have, the number of tankers that are plying Nigerian roads, loaded, moving thousands of kilometers from one destination to the other, you agree with me that Federal Road Safety Corps has tried a great deal by virtue of the policies we put in place. Prior to this time, we had series of crashes happening. But because of the policies we put in place, it has reduced drastically. And like this one that happened, I came here some time ago when we had a crash and a mixed loaded truck getting involved in a crash, and so many lives were lost. And we dwell so much on the issue of condemning night driving. And this one also happened early hours of the day. And we were so happy when we realized that the truck did not even cause an obstruction. It fell, and it fell off the road. And there was no life lost until this issue of people coming from the villages to scoop fuel. We've tried a great deal, and it's continuous. Because by virtue of the policy we put in place, before you can load at every depot, we have our operatives there that check if the vehicle is meeting up with the minimum safety standard. But you also agree with me that the distance a vehicle took off from Lagos and going to, I wouldn't know the northern side of the country that is going, but got involved in this crash at Jigawa. Even if he had been able to certified to have met up with the minimum safety standard in Lagos, by virtue of that long distance, something must have happened in transit. And that's why we continue to, give the advocacy, because we have been able to compare the major oil marketers and the others. How come the major oil marketers were able to sustain safety? We have some of them that have recorded that in the last 7 years, despite that they have thousands of tankers moving all over the Federation, they've not been involved in a crash. You know why? They train and retrain their drivers. The vehicles that are brought into the countries are new vehicles. And they have welfare package for their drivers. If anywhere you get to, and it's 7 p.m., you have to park to rest for the day. Imagine this man. Do you know what must have happened at 12 midnight? Lethargy, tiredness.
I think we have two key things here. First, Assistant Corps Marshal, thanks for the job the Commission is doing. Nigerians are excited about that. But again, if you look at it critically, it goes beyond the driver now. On one hand is about the driver understanding, the technicalities involved and adhering to the sensitization that your department has always churned out. But I'm looking at when it did happen, from that time that it occurred to when the inferno, started. What do you think we didn't get right? Because an accident has occurred, and it would also take the people some amount of time to get to that destination. Right. So at what point did we miss out on this? Because I know you're a safety expert. What did we miss out as a people?
One thing that played out, which I would rather see as an advantage, the crash, the vehicle never created any obstruction. It was off the road, which is a 1+. And immediately, police and FRSC operatives were there to cordon off that area, which is another avenue to create safety. But when the villagers started trooping out, they became overwhelmed. Record even confirmed that the driver of that vehicle tried to alert the villagers that that vehicle is loaded with 45,000 liters of fuel. And you recall that the engine was still hot. And like we also confirm, most of these tankers are already old, unlike, it's not a new fleet. And that's why we're talking about refleeting all these tankers, with the exception of those that I said that brought their vehicles in new. Do you know that some of these tankers could be older than many of us? Because they've spent most of their years outside the country before being brought here. And that's why we have been talking about the standard and the vehicles that come into this country. We've tried severally also by virtue of the effort we have put in place that when these vehicles are brought in, the minimum safety standard, because everybody has been talking about the condition, the poverty, and what have you. That's why we talk about minimum safety standard. Because we can't dwell on all vehicles being new. But despite that, some people still try to escape, compromise all the policies that we put in place. Because what will a man be doing on the road, driving all the way from Lagos till 12 midnight?
To avert this going forward, so we don't, what do you think we should be doing? And are there gaps that the federal government should help fill for the safety, for the road safety, and any other safety agency?
Yes, that's what I think going forward, where just a few days ago, the Vice President inaugurated the National Road Safety Advisory Council, which is an all-encompassing body that has to dwell on issues of road safety, which is a reality that Federal Road Safety Corps, as a body alone, cannot manage the issue of road safety. Is a responsibility of everybody. Yeah. The government has a role to play. NGOs have their role. The state, the federal, is a council that involves virtually everybody. So if we spend so much resources, even when we had the incident of COVID the other time, that maybe just about 3,000 people died in the entire process, and you know the huge effort we put into it. This is a health crisis. Problems we are having with road issue. It should be all of us, all hands must be on deck. What is the role you have to play? Federal Safety Corps has been playing its own role since inception, and that is what has played out in. I just mentioned it to you.
The Ministry of Transportation part of this,
yes.
this engagement?
We
because
have
I'm
the Ministry of Works, we have
ideally, in other parts of the world, moving, this kind of heavy-duty vehicles or
yes.
the products within them, they are by rail. They are usually, ideally, they're done by rail. Is that even something that's been considered seriously? Because
yes.
based on your figures, 390 tanker accidents have happened in 2024 alone.
It came up when the Corp Marshal visited the Honorable Minister for Petroleum just a few days ago, as if he anticipated this. He's been worried all this while since he came into leadership that we must have a solution to this. So he decided to visit the Honorable Minister, and this issue of other means of transportation came up. He told us the challenges and said, what we need to do, that will be a long-run effort. But the immediate effort we should do is that we cannot take the means of transportation by road off the radar for now. So we have to see whatever we can do to make sure that we reduce this occurrence. Okay. And we are going to do that. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Assistant Corp Marshal. Thank you very much. Corp Public Education Officer, Federal Road Safety Corps. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure. On Newsnight.